How you doing? This is Coffee Break with Jimmy, and again, I'm going to do another thing on Charlie Kirk. I mean, that is what everyone's talking about right now. Is Charlie Kirk. Of course, he had his send off yesterday, and when they had everyone over there at State Farm? Was it State Farm Stadium where they play the St. Louis, the Phoenix Cardinals or the Arizona Cardinals play now. And I guess there was 100,000 people there. It was packed, and they had another venue across from there. They had another 50,000, I guess, over there. There was people that came from all over the world, all over the states. A lot of people there came from Arizona. That's Charlie Kirk's hometown. And I guess he was born in Chicago, but now he lives there in Arizona, so that's his hometown. But they had a real good send-off for him. I mean, the complete, I believe the whole cabinet was there. I know I saw Tulsi Gabbard talk, and Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, Donald Trump Jr. spoke, and of course the President spoke too, and the Vice President. Everybody spoke on his behalf. And no one really had, and I didn't know he had a big following. I knew that, but I didn't know he had that big of a following. I mean, this guy really made an impact. He made an impact on the MAGA movement when he helped. He actually helped President Trump. I spoke about this before. He helped President Trump get reelected, and I believe he helped him get reelected in 2020 too. Now, 2020. I say too. Also, 2020. Also, I still believe he won that. He won that election. But that's neither here nor there now. So President Trump, the things that he's doing now, and Charlie Kirk was. I guess the president said that Charlie Kirk would call him and say, "Hey, Mr. President, I've got this function tomorrow. You think you can be here?" And the president would say, "Charlie, I'm the President of the United States. I just can't pick up and go." But then he said a lot of times he did, because Charlie did so many things for him. And they were good friends. He was good friends with his son. I think Donald Trump Jr. and Eric, I guess, they were the ones that were really close to Charlie Kirk at one time, and still are. And but actually got them introduced to the president. But no, that was, like I said, the whole cabinet was there. They all spoke on his behalf. There was senators and congressmen that were there. And I just thought it was a pretty good send-off. Everybody expected a funeral on Sunday, but I guess it's just like the most massive funeral. They didn't have his casket there, so it wasn't a funeral. They're probably having the funeral today itself. But yesterday they did have I guess you would call that a wake, I guess, of sorts. But anyhow, that I guess today, Monday here, I guess ABC is putting Jimmy Kimmel, his show, back on the air tomorrow. Now we're going to see how that flies. Because I know there were several affiliates across the country, I don't know, in different states, ABC affiliates that didn't want to air his show anymore because of things that he said. He said about Charlie Kirk that were untrue, saying that the shooter was actually a Republican, I guess. He was a part of the MAGA movement. He wasn't at all. In fact, his parents said that he wasn't, that he was far left. And he has a boyfriend that wants to be a girl or something, or have this transition going on right now, and I guess that's more or less left. But this guy was he was on the far left. But Jimmy Kimmel says some things, and it's they wanted to pass a resolution on behalf of Charlie Kirk, and the House of Representatives, they were just going crazy. We're not going to do this. So many didn't vote for that. A lot of the Democrats, in fact, almost all of them didn't vote for that. But I guess there were a few that did vote for it, the resolution. But come on. You get a guy that was assassinated, murdered. he just lost, I mean, his kids just lost their father. His wife just lost her husband. His mom and dad lost their son. His brothers and sisters and friends, just so many people lost a lot because he was really thought highly of by a lot of people, not just his family and his immediate family, but and he was a God-fearing man. And this was more of a, they spoke about Jesus Christ yesterday. In fact, this is something, I don't know that I could have done this, but Jesus says to do that, because our Father, we forgive those who trespass against us. So you have to forgive this guy, and his wife did. She forgave him. Now she may have forgave him, but I don't think the law did. They're still seeking the death penalty on this guy, and whether it's the state of Utah or if they make it a federal crime, then that's what they're going to do. So he's still going to suffer from the law. I mean, they're going to go after him to the full extent of the law, whether she forgave him or not. But that comes from being religious and understanding that that's what you're supposed to do. But the law is different. So we're going to see what happens there. And then we're going to see what happens the Jimmy Kimmel program, see if that's how long that's going to last. I know I'll probably watch it just to see what happens. I haven't watched the Jimmy Kimmel program, and I don't care. I don't like his comedy. I don't like the comments that he makes in a lot of cases. I guess there was a time when I used to watch Jimmy Kimmel when he was, what was it called, the Man Show, when him and Adam Carolla had the Man Show, and cause I actually thought he was conservative back then. I don't know that he was, but I know Adam Carolla is conservative, and I don't even know if they're friends anymore. But he used to talk about, he used to say, well, Kimmel this and Kimmel that, because they were friends and they had a program together. But we're gonna have to wait and see. Maybe that was it called the ACC or the FCC, whatever it is that that governs public television. Whether they're gonna have him on there. I know a lot of the advertisers didn't want him on, didn't want his program on anymore. They weren't going to advertise. So we're going to see how that goes. Disney gave him, just, I don't know if he kissed their ass or something, kissed his ass. I have no idea, but we're going to see how that plays out. But I really thought yesterday, though, and all in all, yesterday that send-off for Charlie Kirk was great, and they had a lot of good speakers. I mean, come on, he got the president, the vice president, to speak on his behalf, and I just think that was great. And for his wife to say the things that she said, she was just, of course, you have to understand this is the love of her life, and I guess I don't know if I could have done that. I don't know if I could have handled that the way she did, and she handled it pretty well, I thought. But anyway, that's what's going on. As this Charlie Kirk thing is going to be going on for some time, because he really did a good job bringing the younger crowd with the Gen Zers or the millennials, and they're really getting them on board here on the MAGA movement, bringing them over to the conservative side. I told a story last time. I believe I told the story last time about those three girls that came to the coffee shop, because that's why I got coffee shop with Jimmy, right? And they came in there and they were talking on their phones, talking to one another, and I told them I did tell you the story last time, they had to bullshit with one another, bullshit with everybody at the counter if they're going to sit at the counter, because up there we have conversations, and if you will, maybe we have some debates, about different things. It doesn't have to be politics, but they put their phones down. They had a great time. They had a great time having conversation with others. And a lot of kids are staying away from that, or not staying away from that, but just not understanding that because of the phone. With our cell phones, people talking, they'd be walking down the street, talking, looking at their cell phone, not paying attention what they're doing. But I try, whenever I see some younger kids, I don't even have to know them, but I see someone that's younger, and I try to strike up a conversation. And some want to talk, want to have a conversation. Some don't. they'll just shy away from that. But if they do, I try to talk to them about things that are interesting and give them a little bit of insight, because I've lived a little bit. I've got some experience. And a lot of times people listen to you and they say, wow, I didn't know that. Well, I didn't realize that, because they're still young and they don't understand a lot of things that are. Charlie Kirk did understand this stuff. I mean, he looked in. I mean, this guy, he had a wealth of knowledge, because he read he said he read a book or 2 books a week or something like that, maybe even more than that. But he was very well read. So we're gonna miss him, I'm sure. But the Turning Point, we're not going to miss. That thing has gotten bigger already. They've gotten 62,000. More chapters that applied for more 62,000 more chapters than what he had already, and work in that direction. A lot of people have gone to church that hadn't gone to church in a long time. A lot of our people are opening their Bibles, haven't opened their Bible in a long time, and they're doing this all because of Charlie Kirk. And it's just that right there, the religious aspect of this, and then the Republican, the MAGA movement aspect of this, that Charlie Kirk really pushed. I mean, he gave everybody the microphone. He gave them a platform to have these debates, and I thought the guy was pretty good. And I do that on a smaller scale, if you will. I'd like to do it on a bigger scale. It would be nice, and maybe if I get my program a little bit bigger, a few more viewers, maybe I'll do just that. I'm working in that direction. But anyhow, this thing about Charlie Kirk, that send-off yesterday, I thought was fantastic. And I thought just the fact that the whole cabinet was there, President Trump was there, Vice President Vance was there, and then Erica Kirk was there, and I thought she did a fantastic job. And then when President Trump asked her to come back out there and he gave her a hug, I thought that was pretty good. That was pretty special. So anyhow, so we're going to see what happens with the Jimmy Kimmel show and see how that's going to work and how that's going to play out. And that's going to be fun. You see what happens there. So anyway, this is Coffee Break with Jimmy. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell so you're notified next time that I'm on, and share, please. And I'll see you next time on Coffee Break with Jimmy.